Child, that was a doozy. We struggled there. I didn't even care about the mess. I was just tired. I was tired of my nipples being sucked on. Yeah, how old is my baby? Lord have mercy, let me think. Hey girl, hey, welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alicia Tania, and here on my channel we discuss all things fashion, beauty, lifestyle, and motherhood. We've been doing a lot of vlogs lately, but today is a motherhood focused video. So if you can tell by the title, we will be talking about weaning your toddler from breastfeeding. It's been a very long time since I've done a motherhood focused or mommy focused video. I recently did a video discussing the battle of the pumps, of the breast pumps, and I will link that here so you can go watch that. But this video is specifically about giving and providing tips or tricks for helping you wean your toddler from nursing. So if that's something you'd be interested in, please consider subscribing. Make sure you like this video and let me know if you enjoyed the content. Also, if you know someone who is currently breastfeeding or expecting, send this to them. Let them know there are some tricks and tips, and I'm hoping that you can share this with someone who will be interested in viewing it. Hopefully these tips and tricks will help you. Or help someone. If you see me looking down, I have notes on my phone. So just to give you a little bit of background, if you're new to the channel, I am a wife and a mother of 2 boys, and one is 5 and one is 1, about 20 months now, maybe 19 months. And I exclusively breastfed both boys. I did not give formula. That was my choice. There's nothing wrong with giving formula, but I exclusively breastfed both boys for a little over 18 months, I believe, and I was able to wean them both successfully. Now, the first child, I really don't remember how I weaned, but this child I just recently weaned maybe a few months ago, maybe 3 months ago. Yeah, how old is my baby? Lord have mercy, let me think. Yeah, so we stopped nursing 16 months. At 16 months. So I think that's a good timing. The Pediatric Association recommends upwards of 2. But nursing and breastfeeding breast milk is honestly best. Breast is best, but you know, a fed baby is more important than anything, right? So don't be too hard on yourself if you did breastfeed or didn't breastfeed too long, or don't focus on the timing or whatnot. Even if you only breastfed for 10 minutes after birth, that was better than not breastfeeding at all, right? So just to give you a background there, we did nurse exclusively. They really didn't take a lot of bottles. Easton is my oldest, he's 5. He took more bottles than Miles did. So, and that was different experience because I actually worked in the office and had to pump and leave milk for him. And this child, Miles, my youngest, it was a different experience. I worked from home, I didn't pump as much. So it was a totally different experience, totally unique. So anyway, I want to go in details about what I've learned, how I successfully weaned, and you know, some of the struggles. So let's get right into it. We did some shift in lighting, but other than that, we're still good. All right, let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to mention is, like I said, don't be too concerned about the timing or comparing your experience or journey to anyone else. Everyone's experience and journey is unique, different, and you have to do what works best for you and your family and your mental state, right? Nursing exclusively is not for the weak. Breastfeeding exclusively is not for the weak. It is very tedious. It is very time consuming. It is a very strong binder and bond to your baby. It is beneficial in a lot of ways, but it can be a lot for new moms. And that's just honestly what it is. Like, you have to be comfortable, and you have to do what works best for you and your lifestyle, right? It doesn't work for everyone to exclusively breastfeed. It doesn't work for everyone to sit and nurse for hours and hours. I mean, I couldn't even imagine if I had twins, like nursing. I've had, you know, friends and family that have had twins and had to nurse and had to stop because it was so much work. So like I said, that's my first thing I want to say. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't look at anyone's experience or even mine and compare or get bogged down about timing. You know, some people nurse until 6 months and then move on. That's okay too, right? I just wanted to say that, you know. But let's get into the tips and what I used and how I was able to wean successfully. Figured I'd move back some so you guys can see me a little better, but anywho, let's get right into the tips. Okay, so I believe that when you start, when you're on the journey in the beginning, you know, it's just focused on milk, just making sure you're making enough, producing enough, and feeding your baby. Once you start thinking about weaning, you should start thinking about it at 6 months, when the baby is 6 months. The reason I say this is because it is important to start the baby-led weaning journey, which basically you're just introducing normal or the food you're normally eating to your baby. So I call it table food. Your kids aren't dogs, but I call it table food. Basically just introducing solid foods, applesauces, eggs, things like that to your baby at 6 months. And what this does is it prepares not only the baby but also your body to produce less milk, to start them with learning how to adapt to food. Also, it helps with getting them exposed to different types of foods. It expands their palate. It also helps build their immune system to certain allergens, right? So I have a nut allergy, and I made sure that I introduced nuts to my kids so that they wouldn't have any food aversions to any type of eggs or flour or gluten or you know, shellfish, meats, cheeses, any type of thing that could possibly become an allergen for them. Now, I was very nervous, but this is the best time around 6 months to start introducing that stuff slowly. So, right, you want to start slowly, and you also want to make sure you're nursing first before you introduce any of those foods. If you'd like me to talk more about baby-led weaning and how to get started or what type of foods to introduce, comment below and I can provide a video with full details of that. I've did that twice with both babies, so it's a great experience. It's also really good for their fine and gross motor skills as they're learning how to use their grippers and pick up different foods and textures and things like that. So it's really fun, and it's really good for them to start introducing food very early on. Introducing that food, right, you're generating and you're producing less milk, right, because you're providing that nourishment for them in the beginning. Then they get full, and then you don't have to nurse as much later on, right? So it cues your body to make a little bit less milk, right? And if you could use this time if you are like going away or going for a trip or something like that, and you need to build up a supply. You can use that time while you're feeding them food to pump, right? But that's a whole nother story. We'll get into that. We can get into that another time. If you want more tips about breastfeeding or things like that, comment below. I can provide those as well. First step, I always say it's good to start the baby-led weaning and introducing foods because it starts getting your body used to not making as much milk, right? So let's move forward to whenever you're deciding that you no longer want to nurse, right? So whether that be at 12 months when they're 1 or 6 months when you start introducing food, but you still need to give them that formula, right? But so it's just up to you when you want to start, when you want to stop nursing, right? So whatever that timeline is for you. Okay guys, I had to take a quick break. I'm upping my water intake, so I had to step away to go to the bathroom, so I'm back. Yeah, so once you start and set that timeline for yourself. For me, it was very hard because after his first birthday, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna start like preparing my body, preparing myself, preparing my mental state too, right? So the first step is to start skipping sessions. So whatever that looks like for you. If you're away from the baby at work and you're pumping, probably pump one less session. Or, you know, if you're home with the baby, start skipping sessions. Step away from the baby. Stay away for a while. Go away for 2 or 3 hours and let them drink water or some sort of milk or milk substitute, right? Or you know, any type of thing like that. But that's the best step, to start skipping more of the sessions. That's step one. Accuse your body, accuse the baby, like baby toddler, basically a toddler now. A toddler, stop calling it a baby. It's a toddler now. They're toddlers. Spending more time away from the baby. If you are preparing for a trip or anything, you could pump, but I wouldn't suggest that because that just cues your body to make more milk, and we're trying to stop that. So I wouldn't suggest that. I apologize for people. People are home, so you may hear them. Yeah, so you want to start skipping more sessions. You also want to eliminate your night feedings. Now, that one was hard for me. Yeah. So that one was difficult. That was a hard one because that's how I got homeboy to sleep. So that one was, whew, child, that was a doozy. We struggled there. So what I would do is I would nurse right before bath time, give bath, and then try to rock him to sleep when I was in that session, because that was hard. Night feedings, eliminating night feedings is probably the hardest part of the entire thing, and that's when we would brawl. I mean, my baby would scratch, claw, everything. Like, the night feedings was probably the hardest part of the entire journey, just because that was the time that I did a lot of like nursing in bed. I did a lot of what is the word? Come to me. Why can't I did a lot of co-sleeping, honestly, in the middle of the night. When he would wake up in the middle of the night, I would just grab him, nurse him, and I would go to sleep, and my boo would be in his mouth. It's a bad habit, but when you're there, you're just there, right? And that's not the point. Like, you gotta fix it later. So yeah, ending night feedings was really the hardest part. I did a lot to help with that. I wore a lot of turtlenecks at night. I wore things that he couldn't grab and pull at, right, to try to protect myself. I did a lot of rocking and walking, playing a lot of sleep music. The night sessions was probably, ending the night feedings was probably the hardest part of the entire weaning process. And that's what I would do. I would nurse him before bath time to get that last session in, and then we would do bath time, and then I would just rock him to sleep. But the clawing, so cut your baby's nails. It helps, but at the same time, you're gonna get a couple scrapes. And if you need a skincare routine to help get rid of those scrapes and scars, I'll put that here to help you out, because yeah, I got that too, if you're new to the channel. So outside of the night feedings during the day, I would say if you're away from the baby, that's good, but when you are back with the baby, create distractions. So right, if you can't get away from the baby, create distractions. Give them different toys to play with, introduce new things. I like sensory toys. Sometimes I would just fill a bowl up of water and let them splash. It's simple, guys. It's really not that hard to create distractions for a toddler. They're interested in anything. I filled up one time a thing of like what was it, sprinkles or something. It was just sprinkles in a paper plate, and I just let them go to town. I didn't even care about the mess. I was just tired. I was tired of my nipples being sucked on. You created this bond with your baby, so this is going to be a very, very hard process. It's not going to be easy. And like I said, the clawing and the night feedings were the hardest because we were so used to being in each other's space, bonding with each other, skin to skin with each other all the time, right? So it's not just a transition for you, it's also a transition for your toddler, right? So you want to make sure you're cuddling as much as you can, holding your baby as much as you can, you know, spending time with them in other ways. We did a lot of dancing, a lot of swaying, right, together, a lot of nap time. We did a lot of like body contact napping, right? So contact naps, we did a lot of that. And that helped kind of like skip some of the sessions, but it's the hardest, creating distractions and trying to like still cuddle with them and give them that bond. Those cuddles help because you're using that as a sufficiency for the nursing, because a lot of times they're just comfort nursing at this point when they're at the toddler stage. There's benefits to the breast milk, right, that they're receiving, but it's not necessary, right? Because now they're getting their nutrients from food and from other things, right? So this is just a bonus, the breast milk. So the cuddles help. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, let's talk about you. Let's talk about you, mom. This is so I told you guys I wore turtlenecks to bed. You'll be wearing turtlenecks all day. Whatever you can put on that they can't get to. Even a shirt like this could work. Sorry for the dog, but you know, he would lift up my shirt. He would try to get to my boobs any kind of way. I wore sports bras so that he couldn't get to the boob access easily, right? So anything, because even when you are going through this, you will literally want to just whip it out and put it in their mouth because you're like, I'm tired. I don't even care. Just go ahead and nurse. And that happened for me. You know, we didn't stop until 17 months because I was just like, okay, I just can't take it. I can't take you scratching me. I can't take you scraping at me. Just take it. I can't take the crying. So having the restriction of your boobs, I know some people like say band them down or put band-aids on your nipples. Oh, you can try all those things. I just went with the turtleneck. Like, you can't get to this. I have a turtleneck on. He would pull on my turtleneck, scrape my neck. Girl, we struggled, okay? I would say also that you're gonna deal with engorgement, right? Your boobs are gonna be so full. I went cold turkey. I picked a day and I went cold turkey with Miles and I just said, you're not allowed to have any more milk. So I did experience engorgement. Very, very, very bad breasts. They were so full, they hurt so bad. I would take cold showers, squeeze excess milk out, try my hardest, and then I just went ahead and went to the cabbage leaves. Cabbage leaves, you may think it's an old wives' tale. It works. I'll pop a picture. Those cabbage leaves, I was not playing. Those cabbage leaves worked. Maybe 2 or 3 days later, I stopped making milk. Cabbage leaves work. If nothing else, use the cabbage leaves, right? It will help. They really do dry you out and it feels really cooling, right? So use ice packs. I wouldn't use anything warm, right? Because the warmth kind of stimulates more milk. So I would take cold showers. I would squeeze the milk out as best as I could, just a little bit, not enough to keep making milk, just enough to give me some sort of relief, right? They were rock solid. They were rock solid. But the cabbage leaves definitely helped. Okay. So the last thing I want to mention is that, you know, I want to say you need to make sure, you know, you're taking care of yourself in this transition because it is a big transition, not just for your baby, your toddler. It's also a major transition for you, right? You have to realize that this is a hormonal change for you as well, right? Your body has just created this perfect human being, right? Your body delivered this perfect little baby, and then you have to create, your body created all these nutrients and nourishment for this baby, and then you're telling your body, okay, we have to stop this. So it's not just the shift in your body, but your hormones, but also your emotions, right? So you're gonna feel emotionally drained, withdrawal a little bit. You may experience a little bit of like postpartum PPD, like waves. I know I did, because your hormones will be all over the place. You'll be spiking, have lows, highs all the time, right? So you want to make sure you're taking care of yourself in this moment. So that time that you're away from baby, do something for yourself. Self-care, massage, something. Wouldn't suggest a massage, might have a leaky table, but you do want to spend time, you know, by yourself. You want to take care of yourself, maybe take some hot baths, do something to kind of keep your emotions, like, you know, in check. And it's helpful. You want to communicate to your partner about what's going on. I was very honest. I was like, hey, I don't feel right. I feel like I'm like dealing with something that I can't understand. I'm dealing with something I can't understand, right? I just feel very lethargic. I cried a lot, right? And these are all normal things, so don't think you're crazy. It's very normal, right? It's an emotional shift, for not just for the baby, it's emotional for you. You're going to cry, you know, and during those cuddles and during those night feedings when they're scraping you and you're crying, you're like, I'm sorry. I apologize to my toddler so many times. But these are all normal things, so don't think that it's something indifferent to you. But you just want to make sure you take care of yourself, right? Because these hormonal shifts is normal. You're telling your body to stop making this, and that is a huge break or difference in your body. So you will see it mentally, physically. Let's get to the physical, because you're gonna gain some weight, baby. Yeah, I gained weight after nursing. I gained weight. Yeah, I gained weight, because if you think about it, your body creates this milk, and you're constantly burning calories because you're producing milk. Your body's in overdrive, taking every thing of water and everything that you're feeding it and creating these nutrients for your baby, right? So as soon as you stop nursing, you're going to gain weight. You're going to gain about 5-10 pounds. I did, right? Because I was still eating the same. Because when you're nursing, you're hungry. You are eating all day long when you're nursing, and you're drinking water constantly. So yeah, I did experience weight gain, which I'm trying to work on still to this day. So you will see that as well. But anyway, don't be hard on yourself. You know, you can lose weight at any time, right? Once you're no longer nursing, you can spend 5 hours in the gym if you wanted to, right? If your lifestyle allows for that, but you won't be nursing anymore. So you can look at it that way. But you will experience some changes in your body. You will see some differences in experience for you, and these are all normal things. But that concludes my tips and tricks. I just wanted to again express that if you nursed, if you are nursing, if you are breastfeeding, or you chose to quit earlier than expected, that is okay. Like I said, even if you only nursed for one day, that first day of liquid gold is the most precious and most important, right? Whatever fits your lifestyle, that is what's most important, because a fed baby is best, right? It doesn't matter. They say breast is best, but a fed baby is best, and a happy mother is best, right? So just do what works best for you. I hope that these tips and tricks helped. For more tips or tricks with baby-led weaning or any other breastfeeding tips, be sure to comment below. I have a ton. Like I said, I successfully, exclusively breastfed both babies, who are now not babies, but I have documented experience on both. Really enjoyed nursing my babies, and I hope this video was helpful to someone. Be sure to share with another mother who is looking to breastfeed, who is currently breastfeeding, who's expecting maybe and is considering breastfeeding. These are helpful, and it's just something that's timely, right? And you can use it at any time, right? If you're breastfeeding, expecting, or know someone who is. So I hope that helped. I hope you consider staying and subscribing. Until next time, bye.